topic. On the draft executive order that would require contractors to disclose contributions, I know you said that is a draft working through the process, but I just wanted to check in. Is this something that the White House still is planning to do, still stands behind?
Again, it's a draft process. I don't have anything new to say about it or a timetable for when it might emerge. I will make the point that, as I have in the past, that drafts are drafts. As you know, when you write a draft of your story, the language in the story can change, and the language in a draft executive order can change as it moves through the process. So I don't have.
I guess I mean the principle.
Look, I think the principle of disclosure is one the President stands strongly behind, and again, speaking broadly and not specifically about this executive order, he thinks it's very important that, especially in this day and age, after the Supreme Court decision about campaign donations, that the American people should know, who's funding our political campaigns, and the best way to do that is through full disclosure. And there was a time back when I was covering Congress that was the mantra of a lot of folks, conservatives and in particular, and Republicans, that disclosure was the answer. Rather than any kind of campaign finance reform restrictions like McCain-Feingold, but the disclosure was what we should be pursuing. Well, that's what this president's been pursuing, and hopes that Congress will pass a full disclosure law. Thanks.
Could I ask you about Ben's question on this draft order, recognizing it is a draft and not complete?
Mm-hmm.
The Republican concern is that federal contracts could be awarded on the basis of political donations, or not awarded because of political donations. Are you suggesting that in the writing of this order, when it becomes complete, that concern would be
I'm not trying to analyze the content of an executive order that has not been submitted in a final version. I am saying, as I step back and look at this and try to explain the President's view overall on disclosure, that he thinks the principle of disclosure is important. And he certainly thinks, we think, that it would be entirely appropriate for federal taxpayers to know where those who receive federal contracts, how some of that money might be spent in terms of political contributions. As a general principle, again, this is a draft order, a draft executive order. I don't have a timetable for when, for the process that it's going through, or anything specific about its language.
The OMB's director of procurement is going up to the Hill tomorrow to testify, but it's our understanding, my understanding, that he's not going to be able to talk about this order because it's not final. So how do you
well, I think we think it's my understanding is, why would he testify about a draft order that's a draft? Okay, so I think he can, in his capacity as being in charge of procurement, obviously testify on that basis on his area of responsibility. But I don't, beyond that, I don't really have anything else I can add.
How do you then assure Republicans that such a disclosure would not be turned to political?
Look, again, you're trying to get me to explain or divulge information about an executive order that hasn't been finalized, and that process, if and when that process is completed, I'm sure you'll be made aware of it.
So it's the thing, you finalize it, and if the opponents have challenges, they deal with it after?
Again, it's a draft executive order, Wendell. I think we've stated the general principle. I don't have anything else to add to it. Thanks.